Hi, it's day 5 of lighting candles, and our 5th guest to discuss lighting candles is Scott from Spiritual Essence. Is that it? I know.
Allen Spiritual Essence. Yes, I
Okay. That's his
originally
channel.
started Scott Allen, but I actually tried to do back in the day, like in the mid 2000s. I tried to do the psychic site, and that was my
Mhm.
name, Spiritual Essence.
Oh, okay.
So I started out as Scott Allen, and then I'm like, I'm gonna change it, and I'm like, that popped in my head. So it's
It's a
Scott
lovely
Allen
one. It's a
Spiritual
lovely
Essence.
one. I just have a lot of trouble holding on to things that aren't people's names, but I have enough trouble holding on to things that are people's names. But as you know, we've come to light the candles, and then Scott's going to speak about this particular uh, set of lightings from his perspective and what he did and what he does do. And so we're going to um, click over to the table with the candles. And okay, this is our meditation. And if you're doing a meditation with me, plug yours in either at the beginning or the end, wherever you care to. And the act of lighting these candles serves as a metaphorical beacon, guiding our spirits to the next level of existence, fostering deepening connections, and helping us go through transformative experiences where our spirits, trying to do this and not burn myself up, guys, where our spirits become the catalyst for strengthening universal connections. And this is day 5 for Scott. This is Scott's candle. And during this ritual, we can focus our intentions on personal growth, spiritual enlightenment, and the aligning of our energies with the natural rhythms of the planet. It's time for introspection, envisioning our desired future, seeking harmony with the world around you. It's a time to celebrate the growth and balance of the collective. By embracing this ritual, we are acknowledging the interconnectedness of all of life on Earth, channeling that awareness to elevate our own spiritual journey. It's a beautiful way to celebrate and embrace the cyclical nature of existence while seeking personal and collective growth. And as I've told you before, get in and out, man. Those candles are hot. I've got the angelite, and the angelite is associated with healing the spirit from past life mistakes and cleansing negative energy and removing it from around us. And Scott has a little piece that he's holding on to while he talks to us today. So, yes. And with that, Scott, I want to welcome you to being a part of these ceremonies. And we are going to end on the solstice. And on that's the day when Gaia balances herself again. So we're talking about transformation, balance, and healing. And now Scott's going to talk about his perspective on that right now.
Cool. First, I want to thank you so much. Um, it's it's a blessing to be here with you and your 9 candles. You have many souls that enjoin with you and
Mm-hmm.
want to be part of this, and I appreciate it. And
Mm-hmm.
it feels good to be part of the 9 clan.
Yes.
So to be part of this today while I was driving for work, I was doing a lot of thinking about what kind of message we can bring to this blue 9 candle ceremony in this time. And some of it came up with soul tragedies of a
Mm-hmm.
sort. We're going through a time that is kind of painful in
Mm-hmm.
our universe, on our planet. There's a lot of tragedies going on. So prior to joining you tonight, I did like a automatic writing meditation,
Mm-hmm.
and this is what I came up with from spirit. Hopefully I read it well because I did it quickly and my writing can be sloppy.
I saw your spirit's handwriting is better than my spirit's handwriting.
Yeah. So this is from spirit. This is not for me. And this is what I was feeling and getting. So as we depart on a journey of growth and exploration, the angels and guides want to implore you to seek guidance within from spirit and soul's resonance. Souls of other 3D physical beings come to us for life experiences to make us better earthly beings.
Mhm.
Forget and forgive the earthly ones that do you wrong. The experience is not worth the heartache. Since you are an entity of spirit consciousness, you cannot die. Tragedy happens constantly on this planet, and no, it's no fault of your own. Unevolved souls are here to challenge us and expand our minds. The conflict is not meant to hurt you, but to grow you exponentially. For these listenings on this 9 candles, have an earthly experience generally better than most souls on this planet Earth at this time. So take heart of the gratitude. Always take heart of gratitude in what you have in this life, because it can be worse. The conflict is not of heart and soul, but a belief of others.
Mhm.
Others that may or may not exist. Pushing another to do things not appropriate to our soul's existence. Pray for those who have taken the challenge to face pain and suffering, because those are the ones who will truly expand Earth's consciousness in spirit. So that means that these souls that have had challenges and may have passed, they're doing the work on the other side.
Mhm.
You know,
Yep.
the pain and suffering and what's going on in the Middle East and whatnot. So in the end, it just says love, light, and eternal growth.
Mhm.
So that was my message I was getting from spirit. And it, as we can tell, what's going on around our globe, there's a lot of suffering going on. And I
Mhm.
think that's the main message, is that it hurts,
Mhm.
but these souls have taken on that challenge to help us.
Mhm. Right.
So that's my message there.
Okay. Well, very good. Because I do think the angel light talks about the processing the grief and moving beyond it
Yes.
and finding a more even keel. And the more even and stable we can become, if we're lucky enough to be in a community that's striving to make positive change, the better we make it for the whole world. Because, sitting there moaning and groaning about it, but not really, because you can't do anything about it. You have to have gratitude for what you have and how to move forward. And I think that's true.
Yeah. I was texting a friend the other day, and she was asking about how I can make things better in my own world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what you can do for your family, your loved ones,
Mm-hmm.
when asked, just be there.
Mm-hmm.
If someone needs help to move, or someone needs help putting up a Christmas tree or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
if you can do it, just
Mm-hmm.
be there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to give a bunch of money. You don't have to, you know, be there to cook dinner, help with the
Mm-hmm.
decorations, help move, whatever it is. I think the message was just being there,
Mm-hmm.
so
Being positive.
being positive and just be there for the souls around you in this life that matter.
I have a young woman who I met through my son. Actually, I met her through my son's wife. They were both in roller derby together, and she's a very interesting lady. And She
Whatever.
she works as a social director and a person that creates interaction for an assisted living center. And she wrote an essay today about how she said once or twice a year we get one. Their lives have been so difficult, and now they're put in our facility, and it's been so long since they really had to positively communicate with anyone that they don't know how. And they managed to piss off everybody in the place, everybody in the community. They see this guy coming and they go scatter back to their rooms. He doesn't know how to interact with other people. And she found out a long time ago the best way for her to deal with that was every time she had a chance to see them, to be with a person with that problem, she was lovely and friendly and smiled and showed them how to smile. And she wrote a really long essay about how she's watched this guy come out of his shell until yesterday. She watched him walk outside and he looked up at the sky and he smiled. And it's the first time she'd ever really seen him smile. And she said, I like to think in some small way I contributed to that because we all have it in us. But if we've never seen it, we don't know how to reflect it back. And I think that's a lot of the kind of energy you're talking about, Scott. If we all decide we're just going to sit around in sackcloth and ashes and grieve and grieve and grieve, it's not going to move anything forward. What we need to do is try to make the best out of being around people. And I mean, not negating their grief, not saying, oh, you shouldn't feel that, but understanding that if we can give them some comfort, some smiles, and some gratitude, it'll help. It'll go a long way.
Grieving is a normal process.
Yeah, I mean, we all
We're
have,
never going to get away from that, you know.
yeah.
I
Well,
found, I think it was on Instagram. I found this nurse, and she's posted like crazy things that have happened to her. She did like 12 segments or whatever. It's all I found on her site, but it was really interesting. And it was like crazy things that happened with spirit, you know, moving things, ghosts, whatever, after a person dies. And the one I found really interesting was they were taking care of this person that was near death. And she explained this person was a horrible person, murder, whatever, but he did his time, but he was at the end of his life
right.
at this point. So he started the code, but he came back briefly when she was in there, and he popped up quick and started screaming. You know, like something bad was coming for him before he passed. So it's always like you earn, you know, I truly believe that you earn the karma what you do for an easier existence beyond. And it was just like, oh my God, this guy was seeing something that really frightened him just before he passed because he did a lot of bad things.
Yeah, I worked a show once, and it was a woman. She was an artist, and she'd worked with a medium, and they would get in touch with the spirits of people who passed. And all the families that participated in this art show agreed to do it. And it was in an old church, and they had big portraits of the people that she'd painted. And then they had a thing that was called Talking to Heaven. And the phone would ring, and it would be, they'd whip the cover off the canvas, and you'd see the person that was talking. And one of the guys, one of the last ones that they did, he had been Hell's Angel, and he had a swastika carved on his forehead. And he was just a bad dude. There was nothing to say about this guy that was socially redeeming. And this is what they had channeled from talking with him on the other side. He wanted to know who the hell had put a peace symbol in the middle of his forehead. And he was really angry about this peace symbol in the middle of his forehead. And he said, and that's Stefan. I don't want him in my room. And Stefan had ended up in the 10 minutes or so of the dialogue was the angel that was there to teach him how to get along. And he wanted his swastika back. He wanted his motorcycle back. He hated being dressed in all this light white blue garb. And anyway, and I remember thinking that was so funny. And then there were family members that were at this showing, this whole old abandoned church. It's now an art studio, but it was all full of people who knew these people that were they were talking about. And I met the brother of this guy that had a swastika carved on his forehead. And he said, he just laughed. He said, there couldn't be a more perfect hell for my brother than sitting with a peace symbol on his forehead, beautiful flowing robes, and an angel named Stefan. So I think sometimes, yeah, I mean, a lot of people I think are afraid to die because they're afraid what they're going to meet on the other side. And they may meet something a little grim at the first, but then just think about it this way. They're going to get a peace symbol put in their forehead, and they're going to have to learn how to get along. And
learn, yes.
You know, it was, anyway, there are a lot of people crossing right now because of the wars and because of the diseases, because COVID ain't done with us yet, kids, you know,
Yeah.
or some form of it. But I think for each of us, if I wake every day, I wake up at 74 and a half. I'm so grateful that this day is here. There's days I don't want to get out of bed just because I'm
Of
lazy,
course.
because
We
I'm
all feel-
lazy.
We all feel that.
But you know, I'm grateful that I have a day to wake up to. I'm grateful that I have people like you to come share the candles, and I'm grateful for all the people and all the support and all the prayers we're generating right now, because we're at a time in our calendar when we're going to the darkest day of the year, and then we start moving back to the lightest. And I really hope that people can hear our message and feel some grace and feel some goodness. And, you know, and then you can come back and see Scott and I on Sunday mornings and see us deal with that other world.
The other world.
The
Bring us
other
a
world.
little hope and guidance to the other world.
Mhm. Well, you know, anyway, but I'm really grateful you're here tonight, Scott. Do you have anything else you want to add before I cut back and we blow the candles out and let these people have the rest of their evening?
Have you done any cards for the 9 Candles message?
No.
No. You just
I did when I was building the message, when I was building the 6 points and what I saw. And that's a long process. From the time I knew I'm about to do the candles. You can pull a card, please.
I'll randomly grab one. Nice.
Mhm.
Ace of Ariel.
Oh, beautiful. New beginnings, new values.
Lucky day. New resources of money, time, and support. The change in job promotion. Ace of Ariels, Ace of Coins. It's all about prosperity, gaining guidance, gaining support.
And Ariel is the archangel that takes us into the wild woods. She's the one that runs with the critters. So.
Substance. You know, the coins are all about prosperity and physical.
And they're also about the real world. They're about the physical. They're things you can touch and actually hold, like your stone.
Coins, like the stones, the physical stuff. Yes.
Well,
that's a good roll. I like that. Ace of Coins.
Thank you. I love the Ace of Ariel, and I'm going to switch back to my table. And this year I have my candles on a Lazy Susan. I quit using the pizza stone, although people thought that was hysterical. But it swings, so I don't have to burn myself up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as you watch that smoke waft up to heaven, it's taking all the good thoughts and all the good meanings that we've put out during this time up to the heavens and out into the spirit. Well, thank you. And I'll see you tomorrow night. I don't know. Scott will be in the audience, and in his seat will be Mr. Danny Shea. He's the 6th candle, and God only knows what he's going to talk about. But
that's Danny Shea.
Danny Shea. And I hope each of you will take, it's a time of this year when things do kind of slow down. And if we want to open our spirit up to change we can. And I'm hoping everyone will. And I hope they'll think about evolving and changing and moving. And thank you so much, Scott, for taking time out of your day to be here.
Thank you. Love you, Nancy.
Mm-hmm.